Welcome to the Weekly Dose, a Pharmacy Times broadcast bringing you the latest clinical updates, regulatory decisions, and expert insights shaping the pharmacy profession. I'm Danielle Valetti, and today I'm joined by Kennedy Ferrugia.
Each week, we break down the top stories impacting pharmacists across specialties, from clinical practice and emerging therapies to regulatory updates and patient care. Let's begin with this week's top story.
This week's top story focuses on major leadership changes at the FDA, as FDA Commissioner Marty Makary has resigned following months of internal conflict and political pressure. According to reporting from the New York Times, Politico, and the Associated Press, Makary's exit caps a turbulent 13-month tenure marked by controversial policy decisions, regulatory reforms, and growing tensions with the White House.
President Donald Trump appeared to confirm the news while speaking to reporters, saying, quote, "He's going to be off. The deputy is taking over temporarily." Trump posted a screenshot on Truth Social showing a message allegedly sent by Makary that read, quote, "Please accept my resignation, effective today."
Kyle Diamantis, the FDA's Deputy Commissioner for Food, is expected to serve in an acting capacity as the agency navigates another major leadership transition. During his time as commissioner, Makary pushed for faster drug approvals, reduced regulatory burdens, and new food policy initiatives, including efforts to phase out artificial food dyes.
However, his tenure also faced sharp criticism from multiple sides of the political spectrum. Reports indicated that Makary faced pressure from President Trump over delays in approving flavored vape products, an issue that reports say became a point of frustration within the administration.
He also drew criticism from anti-abortion advocates over the FDA's approach to mifepristone regulation. For pharmacists, the leadership transition could have significant implications across multiple areas of practice, including drug approval timelines, vaccine policy, tobacco regulation, and prescribing rules. With several key FDA decisions still in flux, attention now turns to how the agency's next leadership will handle those issues in the months ahead.
Turning now to this week's Pharmacy Focus feature, Hepatitis B vaccination in adults and the role pharmacists play in improving access and awareness. Pharmacy Times spoke with Marilyn Bullock, an associate clinical professor at Auburn University's Harrison College of Pharmacy, during Hepatitis Awareness Month. The conversation focused on the continued public health burden of hepatitis B, particularly among adults who remain unvaccinated or unaware of their risk.
Bullock explained that approximately 2.4 million people in the United States are living with chronic hepatitis B, many without knowing it due to the infection's often asymptomatic nature. She also emphasized the strong link between chronic hepatitis B infection and liver cancer, noting that the hepatitis B vaccine is essentially one of the first cancer-preventing vaccines.
Another major theme of the discussion was how older risk-based vaccination recommendations contributed to stigma and left many patients unprotected. Bullock said that framing hepatitis B vaccination as cancer prevention rather than focusing on traditional risk factors can help improve patient understanding and reduce hesitancy.
The discussion also highlighted the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices' updated recommendations for universal hepatitis B vaccination in adults through age 59. Bullock noted that these simplified recommendations help make vaccination conversations more straightforward for pharmacists.
The episode also favored newer vaccination options, including the 2-dose hepatitis B vaccine series, Heplisav-B. According to Bullock, the shorter series may help improve completion rates compared with traditional 3-dose schedules.
Ultimately, Bullock emphasized that pharmacists are uniquely positioned to address misinformation, improve vaccine access, and identify missed immunization opportunities through routine patient interactions. Turning now to policy news, with developments spanning oncology, respiratory care, and rare disease treatment. New research published in JAMA Network Open suggests GLP-1 receptor agonists may be associated with improved survival outcomes and reduced recurrent risk in patients with breast cancer. The retrospective study analyzed electronic health records for more than 840,000 patients with breast cancer between 2006 and 2023.
Investigators found that patients using GLP-1 therapies for obesity or type 2 diabetes had lower all-cause mortality and reduced risk of cancer recurrence over a 10-year follow-up period. Senior author Bernard Fummeler said, quote, "This study suggests that GLP-1 drugs may offer protective benefits."
Researchers caution that randomized clinical trials are still needed, but the findings add to growing interest in the potential oncologic benefits of GLP-1 therapies. The FDA has also approved Breztri Aerosphere for the maintenance treatment of asthma in adults and pediatric patients 12 years and older. The approval makes Breztri the first and only single inhaler triple therapy available for asthma maintenance in the United States.
The therapy combines an inhaled corticosteroid, a long-acting beta agonist, and long-acting muscarinic antagonist into a single device, offering a more streamlined option for patients who remain uncontrolled on dual therapy. Clinical trials showed significant improvements in lung function, with some patients experiencing benefits with just 5 minutes of their first dose.
For pharmacists, the approval highlights the importance of counseling on proper inhaler technique, adherence, and ensuring patients understand that Breztri is a maintenance therapy, not a rescue inhaler. And finally, the FDA has approved Bizengri for adults with NRG1 fusion-positive cholangiocarcinoma, a rare and aggressive form of bile duct cancer.
The approval was supported by data from the Phase 1 and 2 ENDRI trial, where patients achieved an overall response rate of nearly 37%. Former FDA Commissioner Marty Makary said, quote, "Patients with this ultra-rare type of cancer desperately need new treatment options."
Bizengri is a bispecific antibody that targets HER2 and HER3 to block cancer-promoting signaling pathways. For pharmacists, the approval represents another example of precision oncology continuing to expand into rare cancer populations, while also reinforcing the growing role of specialty pharmacy in managing novel targeted therapies.
This week's stories highlight the rapidly evolving landscape of pharmacy practice, from major leadership changes at the FDA to new developments in immunization, respiratory care, and precision oncology.
Pharmacists continue to play a central role in interpreting these developments, supporting patient education, and helping navigate an increasingly complex therapeutic environment. You can read more about today's stories on pharmacytimes.com, and be sure to follow us on social media at @PharmacyTimes. For Pharmacy Times, I'm Danielle Valetti.
And I'm Kennedy Ferrugia. Thank you for watching the Weekly Dose.